Larks. Hey, Larks! It is a must-win game tonight for both teams as the Larks wrap up a 3-game series in Southwest Kansas with the Liberal BJs. Welcome everybody to Brent Gold Field for the post-game show. My name is Hank Corsair, and last night Liberal was able to even up the series. They won by a final score of 14-6, and their key was getting on the board early. They scored 5 runs in the first inning, 5 more in the fourth, and then wrapped it up with four runs in the 7th inning to get the big win. And it's always been one of their biggest keys to get on top of teams early. That was their 15th time last night getting 10 or more runs in a game, and they've won all those games. They have 18 wins on the season, and now tonight they are trying to become tied with the Larks in first place in the RMBL standings. The Larks are 23-5 and 16-5 in the RMBL. After tonight, they will have 2 games left in league play, and tonight they can clinch a share with a win, and then after that they would need Liberal to lose 1 game, or they would have to win one of their 2 remaining games in RMBL play, which are both against the Boulder Collegians. And this one's going to be a very fun matchup tonight. The Larks are starting Hank Brown, and for Liberal, they are going to one of their top pitchers, number 21, Andrew Banda. So it's going to be fun to watch both teams tonight. These two are both fighting to get to the NBC World Series, and we will have the first pitch of tonight's game when we come back here on the Larks Network. This game is for first place and for the series. Welcome back to Liberal, Kansas, everybody. My name is Hank Corsair. As the Larks look to go for the win, trying to bounce back from a 14-6 loss against the BJs last night. These are two teams that are both very successful in the last games of their series. For Liberal, they are 6-2 in the final games of their series. The Larks are 8-2. And as we get set for first pitch, Liberal's starting pitcher tonight is number 21, Andrew Banda, a junior right-hander from Nuevo, California. He started against the Larks exactly 8 days ago. For the first 5 innings, gave up 6 hits and only 4 runs, 2 of which were earned. And he also recorded 3 strikeouts. He is facing the Larks slugging percentage leader, Rainer Bean, to lead things off. He has a .649 slugging percentage, which puts his OPS above 1. And for Bean, this is his 25th game of the season. He holds his bat up and awaits the first pitch. It goes to the plate. And that misses on the outside corner for ball 1. First pitch of game number 3 comes at 7:02 p.m. 88 degrees at first pitch. 13-mile-per-hour winds are coming out of the southeast tonight, which is from right field to left field directly. And once again, the skies are blue. Bean gets ahead 2-0. He will be followed by Holtorf, and Hutch Russell will bat 3rd. Sean Keenan is 4th. Bran Wilson will bat 5th. Tabor Stokes will bat 6th in the order. The 7th batter is Trent Baker. Tanner Norman will bat 8th, and batting 9th in the DH spot is number 8, Austin Crawford. 2 balls and 1 strike to Rainer Bean. He went 1 for 3 last night. That included 2 walks, which both of them he would end up scoring off of. His 1 hit was an RBI triple. And now he works ahead 3-1. Banda tried going to his curveball right there and couldn't get in the zone. For Banda, this is his 6th start. He's gone for 20 2/3 innings so far this summer. Has a 1.69 ERA and an opponent batting average of .218. Now Bean hits a line drive, and it lands in foul territory. That'll be a full count for the first Larks batter. And the payoff pitch is on its way to the plate. And that one will miss to the left. And Rainer Bean will walk as the first Larks batter. That'll now bring up number 1, Cooper Holtorf. And here's a look at Liberal's defensive alignment. The left fielder tonight is number 23, Josiah Rojas. The center fielder is once again Ben Finnegan. And Cal Anthony returns to right field. Tonight's catcher is number 7, Cole Manuel. The first baseman is number 20, Caden Isola. Next to him is number 3, Jet Huffman at second base. The shortstop is number 29, Trenton Uyeda. And the third baseman is number 5, William Bologna. First pitch is a fastball to Cooper Holtorf and called strike 1. Holtorf had 2 hits yesterday in his 5 at-bats, both of them for singles. Now here's the 0-1 from Banda. High and inside. It evens the count up. Rainer Bean Bean had a big lead over at first base. So far in this series, the Larks have only had 3 steal attempts. They've been successful on 2 of them. Banda gives a nod, now deals the pitch. That one drops low, and it gives Cooper Holtorf a tied count. Andrew Banda is a junior from St. Louis, transferred there after starting his career at Cypress College. He actually only attended St. Louis for the fall semester and then entered the transfer portal. And Holtorf here's a line drive into left field, and it lands in the bullpen. 2 balls and 2 strikes for the right fielder. Rainer Bean will have to return over to first base. This would be big if the Larks could get the runners home here in the first inning. In this series so far, both teams that have scored in the first inning have gone on to win the game. The Larks jumped out to a 1-0 lead 2 nights ago on Monday, and on Tuesday, Liberal jumped out to a 5-0 lead. But Holtorf will get a called third strike there, and there's out number 1. It now brings up number 15, Hutch Russell. He'll be followed by Sean Keenan and Bran Wilson. Russell comes into tonight's game on a 4-game hit streak. Started the season on a 6-game streak and has hit in every single one except one. And here's a steal attempt from Rainer Bean. He slides in, and he is safe. It was Ueda who covered the bag. The ball actually rolled away from him at the very end, and Huffman picked it up. 1-0 is the count to Russell with a runner in scoring position. Russell's ready for the pitch. Waving his bat around a few times. Banda comes set. Looks back at second base. Now deals the 1-0. It drops low. And Russell's ahead now 2-0. Last night Russell was 1 for 3. His one hit was a single, and just like the leadoff batter and the runner at second base, Rainer Bean, he was walked twice. As a team last night, the Larks recorded 8 hits and 8 walks, scored 6 runs, all of which were batted in. Banda shakes his head a couple times. Now he has his pitch from the catcher, Manuel. And the 2-0 catches the low outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Russell's average this season in 39 at-bats sits at .385. That gives him a total of 15 hits. And now here's the next pitch. And he lines it into the net for strike 2. One of Liberal's players will go in there, give the umpire some new baseballs. Now, just like Cooper Holtorf, Hutch Russell faces a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. High and outside. And that's the second full count of the inning. Rainer Bean also faced one. He walked and made it to second base just a moment ago off the steal. Here's the payoff pitch. High and outside, and that's ball 4. Larks doing a good job working the count up early in this one as they go to their four-hole batter, Sean Keenan, with Rainer Bean at second base. All the batters so far are showing a lot of heart and courage.
Preparing to bat is number 15, second baseman, Hutch Russell.
So Sean Keenan waiting to step into the left-handed batter's box. They just introduced him here at Brent Gold Field as Hutch Russell, but he's over at first base. And the first pitch to Keenan. And Banda will step off the mound right before he throws it, looking back at second base. Just trying to watch Rainer Bean, who has stolen a base already. And then the Larks also have Hutch Russell at first, and he was the only Lark to get a successful steal yesterday. Here's Keenan's first pitch. That one is left outside, and it's 1-0.
Number 7, center fielder, John Keenan is batting.
Keenan steps back into the box now, playing in a team-high 26th game tonight. He also leads the Larks in 3 major batting categories. Now here's the 1-0, and he hits it up the middle. Rolls over to the shortstop, Uyeda. Gets the second in time, and the throw to first is in time as well. And Liberal's able to turn a double play in the top of the first inning. So Ben Finnegan will lead things off in the bottom of the first when we come back as Liberal gets set to face Hank Brown. Liberal ended the top of the first inning on a 6-3 double play, and now they're going to go to work with the bats. Tonight they're facing number 31, Hank Brown, for his 4th start of 2026. Brown comes in with a 2-0 record, 25 strikeouts on the season. One of the lowest ERAs on the team as well. His is 1.40 in those 20 innings, which means he's only given up 4 earned runs on the season. And his first pitch to Ben Finnegan is a ball. After Ben Finnegan, Liberal will have William Bologna up, followed by Cole Manuel, Cal Anthony, Caden Isola, Josiah Rojas, Trenton Uyeda. Cade Adams is batting 8th as the DH, and the 9th batter is number 3, Jet Huffman. Finnegan works ahead 2-0. He had a double and a single and was responsible for 3 of Liberal's 14 runs last night. Now here's the next pitch. That one misses the zone for ball 3. Finnegan holding the bat up, awaiting the pitch. And here it comes. That one finds the zone for strike one. Finnegan, a freshman from Point Loma Nazarene, playing his 23rd game with Liberal. With a .474 on base percentage as the leadoff batter. He fouls this one back, and he works to a full count. Finnegan has 24 hits and has also been walked more than any other Liberal BJ's player. He has been walked a total of 16 times. Now Brown deals the payoff pitch, and this one's fouled out of play. He went to the fastball, and Finnegan sends it off in the distance. Finnegan taking a deep breath as he awaits the next pitch. This is number 7 from Hank Brown, and it's a ground ball over to the third base dugout where Liberal's sitting. It's now 2 foul balls for Finnegan since being faced with 2 strikes. Brown trying to win the battle early. Going to his full windup. That one takes a bounce on home plate, and that's ball 4. Just like the Larks did, Liberal will walk their first batter on a full count. And now Hank Brown is set to face number 5, William Bologna. Here's a look at the Larks outfield, and from left to right it is Trent Baker, Sean Keenan, and Cooper Holtorf. Tonight's catcher is once again number 32, Brian Wilson. Tanner Norman is back over at first base. Hutch Russell moves to second. Tabor Stokes is at shortstop. And Rainer Bean returns to the field over at third. The first pitch to Bologna is on the way. In the inside corner, that'll be called strike 1. Bologna scored 3 runs as well, just like Ben Finnegan last night. Here's the next pitch. And that one misses up high. Count moves to 1-1 for the Bradley commit. Finnegan has a lead over at first base. And here's the pitch. This one's grounded right back up the middle. It goes off Brown. And that is going to be an infield single. As soon as it hit Brown, it went off to the side. No one was really there to pick it up in time. So the Larks just had to concede that play. And now Liberal has 2 players on with no outs. They go to number 7, Cole Manuel, tonight's catcher. He served as the DH last night. And he is batting third in the order once again. Brown looks back at second base. Now focuses on the batter. And this one misses low and outside. And the count is 1-0. Here's the next pitch. A ground ball over to Tabor Stokes, and this one is going to bounce off him. And that one will be listed as an error and score a run for Liberal. Runners are at the corners with William Bologna over at third base. Now the 4-hole batter is up. It is Cal Anthony. Courtesy runner is into the game now for Liberal. That is number 2, Drew Gartman over at first base. So we'll see what the right fielder does right here. It's number 19, Cal Anthony. Swings and misses on the first pitch. Going down with 1 strike. Anthony had that 3-run home run into right field last night. He's behind 0-1. Brown deals, puts it outside, and the count is evened up. Cal Anthony's done a good job scoring the ball in his first game of collegiate level experience. He's gotten at least 1 run in 11 straight games. And last night it was his 4th home run. Now he falls behind 1-2, watching the next one go by inside. Again, Brown comes into tonight's game with 25 strikeouts. And now here's the 1-2. And this one's hit high in the air into right field, and it looks like it's going to sail into foul territory, and it will. Anthony trying to fight back against the sophomore out of Wellston, Oklahoma. Brown just played at Murray State, is committed to SIU Edwardsville for next season. Here's the pitch, and this one's a foul ball. The courtesy runner, Drew Gartman, took off for second base, so he will have to go back to first. We've already seen both teams attempting steals early. That was not very common last night. Both teams were 1 for 2, and both times that each team got caught was at home plate on a pass ball. Here's pitch number 6 to Anthony, and it's grounded foul. It's the 3rd foul ball for the right fielder out of Omaha, Nebraska. Anthony's also trying to add to his RBI totals with that runner at third base. Instead, he strikes out swinging on the 1-2 count, and that's out number 1. That'll bring up a new face into the lineup tonight, number 20, Caden Isola. He is over at first base. He is one of 3 players tonight that didn't appear in last night's game, along with the batter in the on-deck circle, Josiah Rojas, and then the 8-hole batter, who's also tonight's DH, Cade Adams. He appeared in the first game and is back in the lineup tonight. Isola's first pitch is on its way. It is called ball 1, and the throw goes down to third base instead of second base. And that's a successful steal for the courtesy runner, Gartman. And that play makes a lot of sense there for Brand Wilson, because that could have been an opportunity for William Bologna to score at home after the throw went down to second base. But he did that to make sure to keep him put. Isola is ahead 1-0, now 2-0. Isola is a sophomore from Sacramento City College. Comes in with a .359 average and .490 on base percentage in 13 games. He leaves another pitch upstairs. He is ahead 3-0. Brown now has to battle back to avoid the bases being loaded. Here's the 3-0. And that is called strike 1 by the home plate umpire. Isola works with 2 runners in scoring position. Right before this series, he played in their game against Dodge City, recording 5 RBIs and a run rule victory. He almost gets hit there on the pitch, but either way, he's going to walk over to first. The bases are loaded with William Bologna at second, Drew Gartman at second, or with William Bologna at third, Drew Gartman at second, and Caden Isola now at first. And there's already going to be a meeting for the Larks as Keith Harper goes out to talk things over with Hank Brown. This is Brown's first start in 5 days. Usually when the Larks start him, they stretch him out for about a week. His last start was on July 10th against the Fort Collins Foxes, and that was actually a complete game for him. He pitched all 7 innings in a run rule victory. He had 8 strikeouts in that game and only gave up 4 hits. And before that, he got his first win on July 3rd, which was the Larks' final day in Colorado against the Game Day Angels. He pitched for the first 6 innings of that one. And now with 1 out, he works with the bases loaded against number 23, Josiah Rojas, a high school senior from the Colony, Texas. It's a line drive into left field, and that's going to bring some runs home. This one rolls back to the wall. Trent Baker scoops it up. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in, a 3rd run is coming home as well, and he scores. It's a base-clearing 3 RBI double from Josiah Rojas on his first pitch of the game, giving Liberal a 4-0 advantage. They'll take Liberal to their 7-hole batter, Trenton Uyeda. Another freshman from Point Loma Nazarene. Uyeda is originally from Poway, California. He was responsible for 2 runs last night with a run and an RBI triple. He has dealt a ball on the first pitch there from Brown. He looks back at second base where Rojas is standing. And the 1-0 is put on the inside corner for ball 2. Ueda's gotten a hit in 18 of his 21 games. It also included an 11-game streak that he had from June 14th to July 1st. He's ahead with 3 balls now against Brown. And he starts the bottom third of Liberal's order. It's the 8 and 9 batters up next, still with only 1 out. Brown takes a deep breath, another look back at second base. Here's the pitch. He drops that into the zone, and the count becomes 3-1. The glove gets centered here from the catcher tonight, Brand Wilson. And this one gets lined into the net and leads to another full count. Second full count of the game for Hank Brown. First one was against the leadoff batter, Ben Finnegan, who walked on an 8-pitch plate appearance. And he was the first run just a moment ago. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that misses outside for ball 4. That brings up number 38, Cade Adams, tonight's designated hitter for the BJs. Adams is a freshman from Southern Miss. He was a redshirt this season for a team that was one of the 16 hosts for the NCAA baseball tournament. And he is part of that group of 3 new faces in the lineup tonight, along with Isola and Rojas. Half-hearted swing on the first pitch. He went around, and that's strike 1. It's kind of a repeat approach from Liberal that we're seeing from last night's game. In the first inning yesterday, they scored 5 runs off of only 2 hits, showed a lot of plate discipline, and had all 9 of their batters at the plate. Now it's 1-1 to Adams. He's got 1 runner in scoring position. That is Josiah Rojas. And the pitch to uneven the count is called ball 2. Adams has 19 RBIs on the season. He actually came into the first series against the Larks on a 9-game RBI streak, and it ended in Hayes. Now here's the 2-1, and this one is sent into left field, and it's sailing out of play. And it lands in the Liberal bullpen, which is right in front of that left field foul wall. Again, this is another ballpark here in the RMBL that doesn't have any fences surrounding the bullpen. The other ones are Fort Collins and Dodge City. And on the 2-2, it's a swing and a miss there to Adams, and that's the second strikeout of the game for Hank Brown. That puts two away here in the bottom of the first inning.
Batting in the ninth position, number 3.
So Liberal goes through their lineup and brings up number 3, Jet Huffman, a courtesy runner that scored 2 runs last night. Huffman is a freshman from Turpin, Oklahoma. Brown continuing to look back at second base, now deals the first pitch. And this one's a line drive, and Tanner Norman unable to make the catch. And the throw goes to home plate, and another run scores for Liberal. That is the second error of the inning for the Larks. And now Liberal will have Ben Finnegan up to bat for a second time in this inning.
Back to the top of the order, number 12, center fielder Ben Finnegan.
Finnegan saw 8 pitches in his first appearance, was walked at the end of it, and brought home on an E6 RBI play. Brown deals the pitch. This one's popped up. Stokes will go after it, and so will Baker. And it looks like Baker's the one that's calling for it in left field, and he's the one that makes the catch. And that retires the side. But Liberal jumps out to another early lead. They go ahead 5-0, going through their entire lineup +1. And we'll be back for the top of the second in just a moment. Liberal jumps out to a 5-0 lead for the second game in a row. After the first inning, they get 2 hits, and the Larks committed 2 errors. 2 runners were left stranded. And for the Larks, Brand Wilson will lead off the top of the second inning, facing the starter, number 21, Andrew Banda. Tabor Stokes will also bat this inning, and then Trent Baker is the 7-hole batter after him. In the first inning, Banda struck out 1 Lark. That was Cooper Holtorf. And then got some help from his fielders to get outs 2 and 3. He deals a ball to start the inning to Brand Wilson. He's playing at catcher for the second game in a row. Something that I don't believe has happened yet this season, but because the Larks only have 2 catchers on their roster, it's something they're going to have to get used to. This one's hit into center field, and it drops down. That's the Larks' first hit of the game coming from Brand Wilson. So he is on first base with Tabor Stokes up to bat now. Stokes had 1 hit yesterday that drove home 2 runs. It's the 92nd career game for Tabor Stokes. This season he's gotten 24 hits and 12 RBIs. Wilson's going to stay on first base. No courtesy runner is going to check in yet. Or correction, that is a courtesy runner. It's number 12, Cade Green. From a distance, it looked like number 32. But Green is the courtesy runner in. The count is 0-1 to Tabor Stokes. Now here's the next pitch. It takes a bounce on home plate. Goes into the glove of Manuel. And it evens things up. Stokes comes into tonight's game on a hit streak of his own. His is 4 games long. He's gotten at least 1 hit in 6 of his last 7 games. Now he grounds this one to the left side of the infield. Backhanded field. It's fielded backhanded by the shortstop Uyeda, and the throw is not in time to first base. Very close play, but Stokes beats the throw. That puts 2 runners on with no outs for the Larks. And it brings up Trent Baker. He appeared last night as a relief pitcher for 3 innings. He added 3 strikeouts to his season total. Only gave up 3 hits as well. After Baker, it's Tanner Norman and Austin Crawford as they will complete their first rotation through their lineup. Here's the pitch. And that is called strike 1. That time Banda put it on the low outside corner. Baker holds his bat in the air with his neon batting gloves. The 0-1 finds the low part of the zone as well. 2 strikes in the count to the senior out of Choctaw, Oklahoma. Banda's gotten 1 strikeout already. He deals a ball on that pitch. Manuel tried to frame it. Count moves to 1-2. Short leads for both runners. Next pitch is on its way. And there's strike 3. That'll bring up the 8-hole hitter, number 34, Tanner Norman.
First baseman, number 34, Tanner Norman.
Norman was walked twice yesterday. Scored 1 run on those trips around the base path. He's awaiting the first pitch from Banda. It goes to the plate, and it misses outside. 1-0 is the count to the sophomore out of Murray State. Look back at second base before the pitch is thrown. That one goes to the side as well. Norman gets ahead 2-0. Norman has 20 hits and has been walked 23 times. He's also been walked in 14 of his last 17 games. He added 2 more to that total yesterday. Now the next pitch goes low to that outside corner. 3-0 is the count. The DH is up next for the Larks. It's Austin Crawford. We'll see what he can do if the bases get loaded here in a second. Here's the 3-0 from Banda. He delivers it right down the middle for strike 1. The catcher puts his glove low and inside. It goes to the outside instead. And that's ball 4 to Tanner Norman. It loads the bases up with with Green at third, Stokes at second, and Norman at first. It's the DH, Austin Crawford, that will be up to bat. Crawford's recorded 10 RBIs this season in 21 games.
Crawford.
The left-handed batter will face the right-handed arm of Banda. Hit a line drive into the net, and that's strike one. Banda comes into this game only giving up 5 earned runs this season. Also has only walked 3 batters. He has now matched that season total in just one game tonight. He walked 2 Larks in the first inning, and he just walked Tanner Norman a moment ago. Here's the 0-1. Going to the outside part of the plate. It evens things up. Top of the order is up next. That's Rainer Bean, Cooper Holtorf, and Hutch Russell for the Larks. If the Larks want to win, they got to get on the board early as well. Last night they didn't score till the 5th inning, and when they won the first game of the series in non-league play, they scored in the first inning and just waited for that breakout inning. This one's popped up to the third baseman, Bologna, and he's got the catch. That is out number 2, and it brings up Rainer Bean to the top of the Larks order. Bean had a full count in the first inning and was walked. Made it to second base on a steal before the third out was recorded.
Third baseman, number 3, Rainer Bean.
Banda's first pitch to Bean is on its way. Off to the side. It's 1-0. Again, the runners are Green at third, Stokes at second, and Norman at first. Banda's continuing to target that outside part of the plate. It's now 2-0. It's a new umpire crew tonight, and so far it looks like their strike zone is going to be a little bit more inside, so we'll see if both pitchers can adjust as the game goes on. The 2-0 is on its way. Missing the zone again. That's ball 3 to Bean. Banda gets his pitch, now comes set. Trying to avoid a run scoring. He finds the strike zone on the 4th pitch to make the count 3 balls and 1 strike. When Banda first faced the Larks on July 7th, he went for the first 5 innings. Gave up 6 hits and 4 runs, and only half of those were earned. He kicks and deals, and Bean sends this one high in the air into left field. Rojas goes back for it, and jumping up and making the catch is the center fielder, Ben Finnegan. And the bases are left loaded in the top of the 2nd inning. Liberal still leads 5-0 against the Larks, and their 2, 3, 4 batters are up next when we come back.
Larks! Larks!
Welcome back to Brent Goldfield in Liberal, Kansas for the bottom of the second inning. The 2-3-4 batters are up next for the BJs. They had 10 batters at the plate in the first inning where they scored those 5 runs. They only had 2 hits and took advantage of 2 errors. The Larks just had 2 hits in the second inning, and the bases were left loaded. William Bologna leads things off, facing number 31, Hank Brown. This is his 4th start of the season, and he deals a strike. Bologna faced a 1-1 count in the first inning and got a single. Was driven home on a 3 RBI double. Brown goes back to his full windup, puts it on the outside corner, and that time he gets it in the zone again. It's now 0-2. Bologna's looking for his 8th game with multiple hits. He's down 0-2. The pitch is on its way. It bounces in the dirt. 4-1. Brown was able to get 2 strikeouts in the first inning. 16 of his 25 strikeouts have been in his starts. And now Bologna is fighting back. The count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilson wants it low again, but closer to the plate. It's sent back up the middle, and that's a base hit. The 3-hole batter is up now. That's number 7, Cole Manuel. Manuel was 1 for 3 yesterday. He's gotten on already through an error. There's a short lead at first base for Bologna. Brown gives a nod. Now delivers the pitch. And another one goes up the middle, and that's another base hit for the BJs. Bologna jogs over to second base. Liberal once again getting their leadoff batters for the inning on, and then they just try to slowly chip away and then get off in those big bursts. Their first 3 runners got on in the first inning, and they all scored before the first out was recorded. Cal Anthony is up to bat now, number 19. He was the first strikeout victim against Hank Brown, and this one bounces away from Brand Wilson. And now both runners are in scoring position. Anthony now awaits the next pitch, ahead 1-0. It's a fly ball deep into left field, going out of play into the grass area for strike 1. Anthony recorded his 4th home run of the season yesterday. He was 2 for 4 in that game. Now gets ahead 2-1 in the count, as Hank Brown's curveball went low and inside. This is the first time that Brown is facing the BJs. And here's a pop-up into center field. Long run for Keenan to go after it. He calls for it, makes the catch, and will throw it home to Brand Wilson. And the runner is not sent home. Good throw there by Keenan to keep the runner stranded, or to keep the runner at third base. Getting the first out right there. It's Caden Isola's up now for the BJs.
First baseman, number 20, Caden Isola.
Larks infield's going to play a little bit closer this time. Anticipating a potential bunt from the Bend, Oregon native. He holds back on the first pitch, and that's called strike 1 by the home plate umpire. Isola walked on a 3-1 count in the first inning. Now Brown comes set, getting ready to deal the next pitch. It goes to the plate. Missing down low, that's ball one. Isola's gotten 10 hits in his last 7 games, looking for his first one tonight. And the pitch is a swing and a miss. Isola falls behind 1-2. Had a lot of power on the swing, and that's something that he's known for. Only 4 of his 14 hits coming into tonight's game have been singles. That means he has 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and 2 triples. Brown is going for his 3rd strikeout of the game as he kicks and deals. That one bounces in the opposite batter's box. Brandon Wilson's able to stop it. And the count is evened up 2-2. Larks infield still playing close. And here's the 2-2. It is grounded foul. Isola stays alive, and if he gets on with a walk, it would load the bases up once again for Josiah Rojas, who's on deck. His last appearance was that double that cleared the bases and made the score 5-0. Or correction, it made the score 4-0. Here's the 2-2 from Brown. It's a swing and a miss, and that's his 3rd forward-facing K of the game. There's now 2 away here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Larks are trying to get out of it with no runs allowed. Now up is number 23, Josiah Rojas. He's listed on the roster as a pitcher, but is playing in left field tonight. Rojas just graduated from the Colony High School in Texas. He falls behind 0-1 off of the first pitch. And because he attended the Colony, he's actually a former high school teammate of Larks center fielder Sean Keenan. Next pitch is a ball there to Rojas. It's now 1-1. Rojas played first baseman at the Colony, was listed as one of the top players in that position for his class by Texas Prep Varsity. And Sean Keenan was a dangerous player for that team as well. And in his senior season, he recorded a .451 average. And one of the most crazy things about Sean Keenan coming out of high school is that he wasn't even supposed to play baseball. He was originally committed to play football at Northeastern State in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. He had 11 offers, which included 4 at the Division II level before he changed his mind and decided to play baseball at Murray State Community College. The 2-1 is a ground ball, and that is another base hit for the BJs. That'll score Bologna and also the courtesy runner Gartman, and 2 more runs get added to the scoreboard. It's now 7-0.
Shortstop, Trenton Ueda.
Trenton Ueda will now make his 2nd appearance at the plate in this game. In his first appearance, Ueda walked on a full count. Was one of 2 BJ players to face a full count in that first inning. Here's Brown's pitch. It's a pop-up into shallow center field. 3 Larks go after it. Calling for it is Tabor Stokes. Puts his glove out to the side and makes the catch. And the inning is over. But Liberal adds 2 more runs. Bologna and Manuel got on through singles. They are brought home on a 2 RBI base hit from Josiah Rojas to go up 7-0. Liberal adds 2 more runs in the bottom of the second inning and go up 7-0 as they get set to face Cooper Holtorf, Hutch Russell, and Sean Keenan. Andrew Banda is on the mound once again. His pitch is a high fly ball deep into left field. Rojas going back for it, and you can tell that ball goodbye. It's a solo home run for Cooper Holtorf. There was no doubt that one was going to get over the fence. It went somewhere over the rainbow, and the Larks are on the scoreboard now here in the top of the third inning. So now the Larks bring up number 15, Hutch Russell, and getting that leadoff home run. We'll see if that creates a spark. That is the 15th home run 15th home run for the Larks in these last 9 games. Overall, that is the 43rd. Banda's pitch to Russell is fouled out of play. And the count becomes 0-1. Russell was walked on a full count in his first appearance. Down with 1 strike as the next pitch is on its way. He takes a big swing and misses and falls behind 0-2. Banda comes set. Now here's the pitch. Targeting that outside part of the plate again. That's the first ball there to Russell. That last home run was the 3rd hit of the game that Banda has given up. Now he deals the 1-2 to Russell. It's a pop-up. Finnegan's running up on it. Uyeda's there as well. And Uyeda's the one that makes the catch. And it was both of his outfielders on the left side of the field that came in to go get it. But he steps up and gets out number 1. Now out for the Larks is number 7, Sean Keenan. He put the ball in play in his first appearance.
Number 7, center field, Sean Keenan.
Pitch goes outside there to Keenan. He gets ahead 1-0. The Larks have Keenan in the 4-hole spot tonight. He's been on a roll these last few games. He now works to a 1-1 count against Andrew Banda. In these last 4 games, Keenan's recorded 11 hits, 9 RBIs, and 7 runs. And his hit streak is currently 4 games long. Here's the 1-1. He pops it up, and it sails out of play. There's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the freshman from Louisville. Yesterday, Keenan got on base 3 times, had a single, was hit by a pitch, and also got on through a catcher's interference. He sends this one into left field. Rojas backpedaling, and he's got the catch for out number 2. Next up is number 32, Brian Wilson. He was the leadoff batter in the second inning. Wilson got the first of 2 hits in that inning as well. Made it all the way to third, or his courtesy runner made it all the way to third base before the final out was recorded. The glove goes low from the catcher, and the pitch goes outside from Banda for ball 1. With Wilson's hit from that second inning, his hit streak now extends to 8 games. He puts this one in play to the shortstop, Uyeda, launches it down to first base. It takes a bounce and goes into the glove of Caden Isola, and that's out number 3. But the Larks finally get on the scoreboard. Cooper Holtorf hits a solo home run as the leadoff batter of the inning, but the Larks still trail by 6 going into the bottom half of the inning. Back here in Liberal, Kansas for the bottom of the third inning, the Larks got on the scoreboard with a solo home run from Cooper Holtorf. And now Hank Brown returns for the bottom of the third inning, facing the 8-9-1 batters for the BJs. Cade Adams is the first batter of the inning. And here's his first pitch. It's a line drive into right field, and it drops down. That is the 6th hit of the game for Liberal. Cade Adams gets his first, and it goes now to number 3, Jet Huffman in the order. Liberal's taking control of this game early, and if they win tonight, they will be tied for first place in the RMBL with the Larks. If they win, both teams will be 16-6. And these two teams are both fighting to win the title and get that automatic bid to the NBC World Series. But I was talking with the play-by-play broadcaster for Liberal before this game, Brock Kappelman, and we both expect both of these teams to get an invite, but they would definitely both prefer to get that automatic bid from the league championship rather than put their fate in the hands of the NBC. Huffman fouled off the first pitch. It's 0-1. The tournament runs from July 23rd to August 1st. 16 teams make it to Wichita, and only 12 teams qualify for the bracket. And all games will be at the home of the Wichita State Shockers, X Stadium, before the championship game is played at Riverfront Stadium, the home of the Wichita Wind Surge. On the ball there to Huffman. Adams is able to steal second base. So now Huffman looks over at his third base coach before going back into the batter's box. So the championship of the NBC World Series will be played at Riverfront Stadium after every other game will be played at X Stadium. I've actually heard that the Wichita Wind Surge are changing their name. Starting in 2027, they're going to be called the Wichita Turbo Tubs. Not sure why they decided to go with that. But I'm getting a little bit off topic now. Back to the game. It's 1-2 to Huffman with no outs and a runner at second base. This one is sent back up the middle. Brown was unable to make the catch, but Hutch Russell does, and I think his glove actually came off, but it doesn't matter. He throws it down to Tanner Norman for the first out, and Cade Adams is now 90 feet away from home plate.
Top of the order, number 12, center fielder, Ben Finnegan.
So Ben Finnegan will bat for the third time in 3 innings. He scored the first run of the game off of a walk. Other than that, he's 0 for 1 with a fly out to left field. The Larks currently only have one pitcher in their bullpen right now. Brown deals a pitch to the outside part of the plate, and the count begins 0-1. Right now, Hunter Cogill and Sammy Fredrich are both in right field for the Larks. And here's the 0-1 from Brown. Hard ground ball goes foul over to the first base dugout side. Count now moves to 0-2. For Brown, he's gotten a strikeout in every inning so far to start this game. All three of his strikeouts have been swinging. He got Cal Anthony and Cade Adams in the first inning, and then in the last inning, he struck out Caden Isola. Here's the pitch, and it's a drop third strike, a swing and a miss. Wilson looked over at third base and now throws to Tanner Norman, and the Larks get out number 2. Now up for Liberal is the 2-hole batter, William Bologna,
Number 5,
an infielder from Liberty, Missouri. He'll have Cole Manuel on deck. And those two for Liberal have both scored 2 runs already. Bologna is 2 for 2 with both of those hits being singles. His first pitch is on its way, and Brown finds the strike zone. The count is 0-1. Wilson puts the glove low, right down the middle. Here's the pitch, and another one gets fouled out of play. Bologna is down to his last strike. This will be huge for the Larks right here if they can get the last out. Only facing 4 batters, putting a 0 in the third inning column on the left field scoreboard. Here's the 0-2 from Brown. It goes off to the side, and it's now 1-2. Adding in the hit from this inning, Liberal has 6 tonight. And time is called by the home plate umpire. Bologna will step off to the side for a moment. Now he goes back into the batter's box. He faced a 1-1 count in his first appearance, a 2-2 count in his most recent. Now here's the 1-2 for Brown, going to his slider. Pitching coach Keith Harper thought that one should have been strike 3, but it's called ball 2 instead. Brown takes a look at the runner at third base, Cade Adams. Now he deals the pitch, and another one gets fouled out of play. William Bologna readjusted his batting gloves before going back in. His average is .309. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Brown kicks and deals. This one is going to go up the middle. Brown scoops it up, gives an underhand toss to Tanner Norman, and the Larks get out number 3 without giving up any runs in the third inning. Cade Adams had a single on the very first pitch, made it all the way to third, but he is the lone runner left stranded, and the Larks are going to try to cut into this 6-run lead from the BJs when we come back. are through an hour and 10 minutes of tonight's contest. The Larks were able to hold Liberal scoreless in the bottom of the third inning. And now Tabor Stokes leads off the top of the fourth. He's gotten one hit already. And he will be followed by Trent Baker and Tanner Norman as the Larks look to cut into this lead. They scored one in the third inning. That was a solo home run from Cooper Holtorf. And the first pitch from Andrew Banda is right down Broadway for strike one. Banda trying to go for a fourth inning of work tonight. He went for 5 innings in the first start against the Larks on July 7th. Now he deals the 0-1, and Stokes leaves it down low. 1 ball and 1 strike in the count. Stokes has extended his hit streak to 5 games already tonight. And now here's the pitch. And it's a pop-up. And it sails out of play. The count becomes 1-2 for the Incarnate Word transfer. So far tonight, Banda's only given up 3 hits and that 1 run. Here comes the pitch. And that one is left outside. It's now 2-2. So far tonight, the Larks have gotten their leadoff batter on in each of the first 3 innings. And Stokes fouls another one out of play. He will now wait for pitch number 6. Stokes holds his bat up. The catcher wants it right down the middle. Instead, it goes up high. And that'll be a full count for Stokes. He only saw 3 pitches in his first appearance. This next one will be number 7. The payoff pitch is sent to the plate. And Stokes gets a fly ball into right field. Anthony doesn't have to travel too far. He's going to track it down and get out number 1. Now up is number 2, Trent Baker, a relief pitcher in last night's game for 3 innings.
Left fielder, number 2, Trent
Baker now makes his second plate appearance. And Baker's first pitch is a swing and a miss for strike 1. His average coming into tonight's game is .381. That is 38 better than his career average, which is .343. And he hits a fly ball, and tracking it down is the second baseman. Huffman had to sprint after it to make sure it didn't drop down. And there is out number 2 for the BJs. Tanner Norman is now up to bat for the Larks. He walked on a 3-1 count in the second inning. Banda's first pitch to him goes to the plate. He puts it on the outside corner, and it's called ball 1. The catcher centers his glove for the next pitch. Another one goes outside, and the count becomes 2-0. Banda's a pitcher that has a lot of experience. This is his 6th start of the season. He's gone for 20 2/3 innings before tonight's game. And Tanner Norman chops this one just foul down the third base line. And the count becomes 2-1. I mentioned Banda did not play this last collegiate season. He transferred to St. Louis for the fall semester before entering the portal again. He played 3 seasons at the JUCO level for Cypress College, had a 3-1 record in 19 games in 2025, and did not play in 2024. 2-1 is the count to the future Western Kentucky Hilltopper Tanner Norman. Now here's the pitch. And the curveball gets in the zone for strike 2. Norman trying to get on base for the second time tonight as the pitch goes to the plate. It lands in the dirt, and it's another full count for the Larks. Second one of the inning for Andrew Banda. Tabor Stokes faced one on a 7-pitch at-bat a moment ago before flying out to right field. And now here's the payoff pitch to Norman. That is called ball 4. It's another multi-walk game for Norman as the Larks go to their 9-hole batter, Austin Crawford. Crawford has recorded 14 hits coming into tonight's game, putting his average at 237. And he gets hit on the foot on the first pitch. That sends Norman over to second base and returns to the Larks to the top of their order with number 3, Rainer Bean, as they try to start a 2-out rally. Nobody has warmed up yet for Liberal. They've been very comfortable with Banda in the game. Norman takes a big lead over at second base. Banda takes a look back at him. Here's the pitch. And it's a line drive into left field. And this bounces in front of the left fielder. And Andy Luton will tell Tanner Norman to stop over at third base. That loads the bases for Cooper Holtorf. And Holtorf had that solo home run in the last inning. We'll see what he does right here. Holtorf is ready for the pitch from Banda. The first one is delivered. And this one is lined foul out of play on that first base dugout side once again. That last home run for Holtorf was his 5th of the season. Here's the 0-1. And this gets fouled back. Holtorf now falls behind 0-2. And also with that first home run from Holtorf, he now has 4 home runs in his last 6 games. He's taking a couple half-hearted practice swings before Banda comes set. Now he holds the bat up. Here's the 0-2. Another one gets popped out of play. And Holtorf fighting back, staying alive. The Larks have Norman at third, Crawford at second, and Bean at first. Holtorf is up to bat. He has the only run and RBI tonight. Here's the pitch. And this one's going to get away from the catcher, launch straight up into the air. Tanner Norman runs home, and he slides in, and he is safe. He beats the tag from Banda, and the other 2 runners advance as well, and the Larks are within 5. Now Holtorf goes back in with a 1-2 count. He is ready for the pitch, and here it comes. There is strike 3. And that will retire the side. The Larks only get 1 run and leave 2 runners stranded, but they are now within 5 going into the bottom of the 4th inning. We will be back to Brent Gold Field in just a moment. Hank Brown returns for the bottom of the 4th inning, as Liberal will have their 3, 4, 5 batters up next. They did not put up any runs in the 3rd inning. And Manuel's first pitch is a ball. He's gotten on twice and then been replaced by Drew Gartman as a courtesy runner. And Gartman has scored twice, making him one of 2 players for Liberal that already has multiple runs. Now the 1-0 takes a bounce and then goes into the net. Count moves to 2-0. Wilson wants the low outside corner for Brown. Here's the pitch. And the slider missed the zone for ball 3. Manuel's a junior from Arkansas State in the Sun Belt Conference. And that's where I'd say a pretty good number of the Division I players for the BJs played this last season. And there's ball 4 on the next pitch. Time is called, and Keith Harper checks into the game. And also checking in is Drew Gartman once again as the courtesy runner. The Larks are warming up Hunter Cogill at the moment. So we'll see if they decide to sub Hank Brown out now or if they will keep him in. So far, Harper has not signaled over to right field, so Brown will stay in for the 4th. Cal Anthony now bats for the BJs. The Nebraska commit has started 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and flown out. Gartman's got a short lead over at first base. He stole second in the 1st inning. Here's the first pitch to Cal Anthony. It's called strike one. Brown has gone for a combined 13 innings in his last 2 starts before tonight's game. This one bounces away from Brand Wilson, and Gartman advances to second base on a pass ball. That's the second time he's done so tonight. Time will be called for the foul ball to be retrieved. 1-1 is the count to Anthony. He was Liberal's top batter yesterday, 2 for 4 with a total of 5 RBIs, which was actually not the first time he's done so. He's done that this season. His other time getting 5 RBIs was on June 28th against the Game Day Angels. He has dealt a ball on the 1-1 count, and it ties things up. So, in combination with that game against Game Day and last night, 10 of Anthony's 17 RBIs have been in those 2 games, and he's played in 12 this season. The pitch to untie the count from Brown goes low to the inside part of the plate. It's now 3-1. No outs have been recorded yet. The 5-hole batter is up next for Liberal. That's Caden Isola. And Hunter Cogill is the pitcher warming up in the Larks right field bullpen. The runner takes off for third base, and this one's a fly ball into center field. Sean Keenan goes back for it, and he's got the catch for out number 1, and Gartman returns to second base. Harper's going to come out once again. We'll see if this is where the change is made. And right now it looks like Hunter Cogill's making his way out. So that is going to be the end of Hank Brown's night after 3 1/3 innings. We'll be back here in just a second here on the Larks Network. Gateway Gecko Hunter Cogill will take over the duties on the mound for the remainder of the 4th inning with 1 out and a runner at second base. Cogill's first batter is number 20, Caden Isola. This is Cogill's 10th game with the Larks. He's pitched in 18 innings and is the team leader in whip and opponent batting average. He deals a ball on the first pitch to Isola. On average, Cogill only gives up 1 walk/hit per game or per inning, and his batting average against his opponents is 176. He looks back over at second base. Now here's the 1-0, and he finds the strike zone on the next pitch to even things up. Isola's gotten on the base path once tonight through a walk on a 3-1 count. He was also the third batter that the starter Hank Brown struck out in that second inning on a 2-2 count. Brown recorded 4 strikeouts tonight. And now there's a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Caden Isola. A sophomore from Sacramento City College. He played in 32 games in his sophomore season. Is currently uncommitted for next season. He swings and misses on the next pitch, and he's down to strike number 2. It is the courtesy runner Drew Gartman over at second base. He's gotten 1 steal already. He's got a lead. And here's the 2-2. It's a swing and a miss, and it's a strikeout on the first batter that Cogill faces. There's now 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it brings up Josiah Rojas. Now Cogill has to be careful right here. Rojas has already gotten 2 hits tonight. And in those 2 hits, he has a combined 5 RBIs. Drove home 3 on a double in the first inning, and in the second inning, he drove home 2 on a single. He watches the first pitch go by. No throw is made down to second base, or third base, excuse me. And Gartman has his second steal of the game. Rojas falls behind 0-1. Rojas is a Cisco College commit. Is dealt a ball, and the count moves to 1-1. That one looked very close to the zone, a little bit tall for the home plate umpire's liking. Here's the 1-1 from Cogill. It's a line drive, and that's going to be another RBI for Rojas. It makes the score 8-2, and he records his 3rd hit of the game as well. That'll bring up number 29, Trenton Uyeda. Uyeda waits the pitch. Playing near the back line in the box, and here's the pitch. Goes outside, and it's 1-0. Uyeda has walked and got out on a pop-out in his last appearance. He goes ahead 2-0 now against Cogill. Norman's covering first where Rojas has the lead. And the fastball is a swing and a miss for strike 1. Uyeda's got a .474 on base percentage, and his slugging percentage is the same. That puts his OPS at .948. And the pitch to untie the count drops into the zone for strike 2. He's faced a full count already, so now he has to battle back, and here's the pitch. He hits this one into right field, and Holtorf gets there in time and records out number 3. But Liberal adds their 8th run of the game there in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cole Manuel walks. Drew Gartman takes over on the base path and is brought home off of another RBI hit from Josiah Rojas. We'll see how the Larks respond in the top of the 5th inning up next. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 left on base for Liberal in the bottom of the 4th inning. They extend their lead to 8-2 and send Andrew Banda back to the mound for a 5th inning of work against the Larks 3-4-5 batters. The Larks have scored in each of the last 2 innings with a solo home run from Cooper Holtorf. And Tanner Norman scored on a wild pitch in the 4th inning. Russell's first pitch is a strike. And now Liberal's starting to warm up another arm. Russell leaves the next pitch outside. 4-1 now, evening the count up. This game is still very much in reach for the Larks. Going into the top of the 5th yesterday, they were down 10-0. Tonight they're within 6. And now Russell will deal with a tied count. And the Larks have made some comebacks this season. This is the 16th game that they're playing from behind in. So in the previous 15, they've actually won 12 of those. Meaning when their opponent scores first, if you do the math, the Larks have an 80% win percentage in those circumstances. The 3-1 is hit over and scooped up by Huffman, and that is out number 1. That'll now bring up the 4-hole batter, Sean Keenan. So far tonight for Andrew Banda, he came in with 27 strikeouts. Tonight he has recorded 3, and he's been getting a lot of help from his fielders, and that's pretty much been the case for Liberal in this entire series. They came in with 41 unearned runs in the season coming into this series, and they have yet to give up an unearned run tonight as well. The count is 0-1, and Keenan hits a line drive into right field, and the catch is made. Anthony was in the right place at the right time. That gets out number 2 and brings up number 32, Brand Wilson.
Catcher number 32, Brand Wilson.
Wilson's 1 for 2 tonight with a single. He has Cade Green serving as a courtesy runner tonight. Wilson looking for another hit against his former team. He played for Liberal last season before joining the Oklahoma MVP at the 2025 NBC World Series. He falls behind 0-1 on the first pitch. Bandit gives a nod. Now he kicks and deals. And that's another swing and a miss there for Wilson for strike 2. Liberal has yet to record a 3-up, 3-down inning tonight. They've got a chance to do it right here. Here's the 0-2 from Banda, and that is a swinging strikeout there for Brand Wilson. It was not dropped, so that will end the inning. And the bottom of the 5th will be up next with the 8-9-1 batters for the BJs. Cade Adams leads off the bottom of the 5th inning with Liberal ahead 8-2 against the Larks. Hunter Cogill, the relief pitcher, is back out there. He deals a strike to the DH. Cogill came in the last inning when there was 1 out recorded and was able to get a strikeout, and he only gave up 1 hit. Next pitch is a ball on the outside. Adams will be followed by Jet Huffman and then Ben Finnegan. Liberal has scored in every inning so far except the 3rd. They had 5 runs in the 1st, 2 more in the 2nd, and then 1 in the 4th. Now Adams will face a 1-2 count against the relief pitcher Hunter Cogill. Cogill comes set, and he delivers, and this gets fouled back as Adams stays alive. Adams has already been struck out once tonight in the 1st inning. That was on a 2-2 count where he was caught swinging, and he's trying to record his 2nd hit of the game, which was a base hit in the 3rd inning that saw him get to 3rd before the final out was recorded. And now he'll face a 2-2 count again. We'll see where Brand Wilson puts his glove. He wants it on the inside part of the plate. And another foul ball. Cade Adams will now await pitch number 7 from Hunter Cogill, a recent commit to Briarcliff University in Iowa. Here comes the 2-2, and it's a swing and a miss. That's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Hunter Cogill. That puts out number 1 on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It brings up Liberal's 9-hole batter. That is number 3, Jet Huffman, a freshman from Turpin, Oklahoma that plays right here at Stewart County Community College. And he is dealt a strike on his first pitch. Huffman played in a total of 54 games as a freshman for the Saints. 45 hits that gave him a .283 average and 41 runs on the season. Now in the 0-1, he swings and puts it into foul territory. Cogill going for another strikeout. He pitches the 0-2. It'll be popped up. Tanner Norman's running after it, but it's going to land out of play. Huffman is ready. Here's the pitch. It goes upstairs, and that's ball 1 from Cogill. So far tonight, Huffman's only been on the base path 1 time. He reached on an error from the first baseman in the 1st inning, and then grounded out to the second baseman in his last appearance, and he fouls off another one. The 2 leadoff batters in this inning for Liberal have both gotten to 2 strikes and then followed that with 2 foul balls. Here's the next pitch, and it's a line drive that just goes foul. It went very close to the line, landing in the outfield grass. But there's no doubt about it, that was a foul ball, and the count remains 1-2. Liberal will be back to the top of their order after this at bat. Ben Finnegan is currently standing in the on-deck circle. And this one is sent into center field. Keenan goes after it, puts his glove up, and gets the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. So now Ben Finnegan will make his 4th plate appearance of tonight's game. scored the first run, but has since then flown out to left field and struck out in the third inning. You got to give Hunter Cogill a lot of credit so far. Has only given up one hit with an RBI, and he has 2 strikeouts as well. The first pitch to the leadoff batter is called ball 1. Finnegan has only seen a ball in his first appearance, which was that full count that he walked on when he flew out at the end of the first inning. That was on the very first pitch of the at-bat, and then the strikeout in his last appearance. All 3 pitches were strikes. Now he gets ahead 2-0 against Cogill. Finnegan takes a deep breath awaiting the pitch, and here it comes. That one catches the low inside corner, and the count is tied up. Wilson wants it on that inside corner once again. It goes high, and that's ball 3. Finnegan, the Point Loma Nazarene freshman, trying to get on base for the second time tonight. Made 13 starts as a freshman for a Point Loma Nazarene team that won the Pac West Championship. And he swings and misses and works up to a full count now. Liberal BJs are also the second team that Finnegan is playing for. Last summer, after his high school career in Trabuco Canyon, California, he played summer ball with the SoCal Renegades. Now he's trying to avoid getting struck out for the second time tonight. Here's the payoff pitch. And this one is a ground ball. It is fielded by Hutch Russell in the outfield, but that one will be listed as a hit. That'll bring up number 5, William Bologna. Tonight's third baseman. He is 2 for 3. Both of his hits have been singles. He has also scored 2 of Liberal's 8 runs. The first 3 batters for Liberal account for 6 of those runs. Finnegan had his 1 in the first. Bologna has those 2. And then the courtesy runner for Cole Manuel has scored all 3 times. First pitch from Cogill. Targets that low outside part of the plate. The count moves to 1-0. Bologna is committed to play at the Division I level next season for Bradley after a successful career at Liberty North High School. And the Larks throw down to second base, and that's a successful steal there for Ben Finnegan. He gets the second base in plenty of time. And the count now stands at 1-1. Bologna was also an all-state selection at Liberty North, and previously he played travel ball for the Royal Scout team, which is composed of college prospects from the Kansas City area, and they travel all over the country playing games. He is down 1-2 in his first appearance against Cogill. He has two strikeouts. He's only given up 2 hits. Now here's the 1-2 as the runner takes off for third base. It does not matter. That is another strikeout for Hunter Cogill. It's his 3rd of the night, and it retires the side. We'll be back in just a moment for the top of the 6th inning. The score is Liberal 8, Hayes 2.
Hayes Larks. So join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks. Join me down at the old ballpark. I'll be rooting for the Hayes Larks. Hayes Larks.
Tabor Stokes leads off for the second time tonight, still facing the starter for Liberal, Andrew Banda. I'll say that he went around on the first pitch, so Stokes starts with an 0-1 count. Liberal has had one pitcher warming up tonight, but they're keeping Andrew Banda in the game for as long as possible. Stokes fouls this one back, falls behind now with 2 strikes. Try to get a look at who's currently warming up. It's a little bit hard to tell with how far away it is. That pitcher warming up is either number 20 or 28. And Tabor Stokes will strike out on the 0-2 count here in the top of the 6th inning. That'll bring up number 2, Trent Baker. So if I'm correct on who's currently warming up, that is Preston Roberge, number 28 for Liberal, who was actually the starting pitcher in game number 1 of this series. He only went for 3 innings, so it wouldn't be too surprising to see him appear again. Baker has dealt a ball there from Andrew Banda. The catcher puts the glove low. That's a swing and a miss for the first strike. Baker's had 1 ball go in play tonight in his 2 prior appearances. He'll have Tanner Norman up next, who has gotten on twice. Now here's the 1-1. Another swing and a miss. Baker falls behind 1-2. Baker holds his bat up. Banda kicks and deals. This one's a foul tip that was not caught by the catcher, so Baker will stay alive. Tanner Norman will pick it up and throw it to a Liberal player. Banda goes back to his full windup, and he finds the strike zone once again on the outside part of the plate. That is out number 2. Banda has 2 backwards Ks here in the 6th inning, and he now faces number 34, Tanner Norman. Norman scored the Larks' last run on a wild pitch play. We'll see what he does right here. Both of the times he's gotten on the base path, he's walked. Banda's first pitch to him is a fastball. That starts the count off 1-0. Catcher wants the pitch down the middle. That's a changeup on the inside. Norman's now ahead with 2 balls in the count. We'll also now take a look at some of the scores from around the RMBL tonight. Down in Lakewood, Colorado, Fort Collins is ahead of Colorado 11-7. And in Boulder, the Game Day Angels are ahead of the Collegians 7-3. And that is who the Larks will face next. They will have a 3-game series with Boulder starting on the 17th. It'll go on the 18th and 19th before the season finale on July 20th in Dodge City. 2-2 is the count to Tanner Norman after the curveball. Banda delivers, and this one will bounce away from the catcher and lead to a full count. Field playing a little bit deeper here as they face Tanner Norman. And now Banda steps off the mound. Here comes the pitch. And he walks for the third time tonight. Tanner Norman showing a lot of plate discipline here in this game. And now a meeting is going to take place for Liberal. Gino Kazi makes his way out to the mound. We'll see if they decide to sub in Preston Roberge. If he gets subbed in, it would be the second time the Larks see him in this series. Roberge pitched in the first game, which was non-league. And the Larks were able to get 8 hits and 5 runs off of him. But I'd have to assume Liberal feels comfortable with the 6-run lead at this point in the game, and they'll have to save some pitchers for their next two against Dodge City. Because if they win both of those, they will at minimum, if they win tonight and then win those 2 games against Dodge City, they will at minimum share the RMBL title with the Larks. Banda delivers a swing and a miss there to Austin Crawford. This is his 3rd appearance. Crawford put the ball in play in the 2nd inning, and then in the 4th inning, on the very first pitch, he was hit on the foot. Made it all the way to third base before the final out. Now he's behind 0-2 on the foul ball. Tanner Norman's got a short lead over at first base. Staying very close to the bag. Here comes the pitch. This one is chopped over to the second baseman, Huffman, and he gives an underhand toss to his shortstop, Uyeda, to get the lead runner out and end the inning. Liberals still up by 6 going into the bottom half of the 6th inning. It'll be their 3, 4, 5 batters up next to face Hunter Cogill. Hunter Cogill is back on the mound for the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to make sure Liberal does not add any more runs onto the scoreboard. But so far, Cogill has done a good job with that. The only run that has been scored against him was in the 4th inning, and that technically doesn't count towards him because the runner that scored there was on the base path when Hank Brown was pitching. So Cogill's trying to stay at 0 runs against the 3-4-5 batters for the BJs. Cole Manuel's the first one he faces. A batter who has yet to get out and whose courtesy runner has yet to not score. The first pitch of the inning from Cogill drops into the zone, and it's 0-1. After Manuel, it's Cal Anthony and Caden Isola up to bat for the BJs. Cogill delivers now, and this one's popped out of play, and Manuel falls behind 0-2. Cogill's only given up 2 hits and has gotten 3 strikeouts. All 3 of those have been swinging. We'll see what he does right here. Here's the 0-2. And he delivers the ball into the opposite batter's box. It's now 1-2. Manuel, the Arkansas State Red Wolf, is ready. And here's the pitch. He lines this one foul. And he stays alive. Ren Wilson wants it low. And the home plate umpire is going to even the count up there at 2-2. Manuel still has the best on-base percentage for Liberal. .525 entering this game. Cogill's trying to be the first Larks pitcher to get him out tonight. Here's the pitch. And that one looked like it got in the zone, but I guess it was a little bit too low. That's going to lead to a full count. Wilson tells Cogill to put the ball up a little bit higher. That leads to another foul ball. We're awaiting pitch number 8 here, the current at-bat. Manuel awaits the pitch. Cogill comes set. He kicks and deals. And that is called ball 4. The Larks dugout thought that that one should have been called strike 3. And Keith Harper is going to come out a little bit and try to get an explanation from the umpire. I'm a little bit surprised that they called that one ball 4 because it feels like when the pitcher puts it in that corner, they've been able to find the strike zone. But I guess not that time. That's the 4th time that Manuel gets on the base path for Drew Gartman. There's a swing and a miss on the first pitch to Cal Anthony. Anthony's a Creighton Prep High School graduate in Omaha, Nebraska. 0 for 3 start for him tonight. And now here's the 0-1. That one drops into the low corner. And it is evened up. Caden Isola's up next, and then Josiah Rojas for the BJs. This one is chopped over to Hutch Russell. He tags the lead runner and juggled the ball at the very end of the play trying to make the throw. Anthony's on for the first time tonight with a fielder's choice play. And now Isola makes his 4th plate appearance with 1 away and a runner at first base. Isola is an uncommitted sophomore from Sacramento City College. He scored 1 of Liberal's 8 runs tonight. He pops this one up. Tanner Norman's running after it. This one will land out of play. 0-1 is the count to the first baseman. There's a lead over at first base for Anthony. And there is another ball from Hunter Cogill. Cogill goes to the outside part of the plate now. Count moves to 2-1. Isola is still in search of his first hit tonight. He struck out 2 times in a row, walked in his first appearance. He's hit in 6 of his last 7 games and has 10 overall in that stretch. This one's a foul ball, and that will send Anthony back over to first base, trying to get his first steal of the game. 2 balls and 2 strikes in the count. And the Larks have a new catcher in the game. That is not Brand Wilson behind the plate now. That is number 29, Dylan Hazelhorse, taking over the duties. Here comes the 2-2 from the Briarcliff commit. That one drops low, and it's now full. Cogill's already faced a full count in this inning. Trying to get his first strikeout of the inning as he delivers. And it's a line drive and a base hit for the BJs. Anthony's now the new runner over at second base, and Isola's at first. Now Josiah Rojas is up to bat. He has brought home 6 of the 8 runs tonight. He had a 3 RBI double in the first inning, a 2 RBI single in the second, and then another RBI single in the fourth. He was the second batter that Cogill faced when he came in the 4th inning. And the curveball makes the count 0-1. Rojas is once again playing in left field tonight. Played as a first baseman in high school. Listed on Liberal's roster as a left-handed pitcher. He has an even 1-1 count against Cogill. And here's the pitch. And that is in the strike zone. It's now 1-2. Rojas is another player for Liberal that has yet to get out tonight with those 3 hits in his previous 3 appearances. Cogill trying to put him away and get out number 2, and he does just that. It's a drop third strike, but there's a runner at first, so that is another out for Cogill. There's now 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning with the 7-hole batter up next. That is Trenton Uyeda. If the Larks get the out right here, it'll be back-to-back innings without a run allowed. But Uyeda's put the ball in play twice now in his last 2 appearances. They both have been flyouts. One to the shortstop, Tabor Stokes, and one to the right fielder, Cooper Holtorf. Cogill deals, and this one gets fouled out of play. It is 0-1. Isola has a lead at first base. Anthony will follow, taking a lead at second. Here's the pitch. That's a foul tip into the glove of Hazelhorse, the new catcher. And it's now 0-2. Cogill going for his 2nd strikeout of the inning and 5th of the game. This one is hit over to Hutch Russell after a big bounce. He will tag at second and end the inning. So that's back-to-back innings for the Larks without giving up a run. Going into the top of the seventh, they trail 8-2, and they will likely face a new pitcher when we come back. Liberal subs Andrew Banda out after 6 innings. He records 6 strikeouts and only gives up 4 hits and 2 runs. And the new pitcher checking in, I was saying it was Preston Roberge because the number was 28, but it is actually, I've been told, Sean Size, who's listed on the roster as number 18, wearing a different number tonight, facing the top of the Larks order with Rainer Bean. The count is 0-1, and now here's the next pitch. This one bounces away from the catcher, and it's now 1-1. Size is a freshman from El Paso, Texas, attends El Paso Community College, and he pitched in that last game against the Larks a week ago today, going for 1 1/3 innings and only facing 4 batters. Here's the 1-1, and Bean hits this one, and it's a diving catch made by the shortstop Uyeda for out number 1. Bean made good contact. Well, that's just an incredible play. Not much you can say. That'll now bring up number 1, Cooper Holtorf. He had the home run in the 3rd inning. That is his only hit tonight. He has dealt a ball on his first pitch.
Sean Size now pitching for the BJs.
Now here comes the next pitch. This one is chopped foul over the third base dugout. And it's another 1-1 count for the Larks against Sean Size, who is wearing number 28 tonight instead of his usual 18. The catcher puts his glove low. That one misses on the outside. The count is tied up for Holtorf. The scoreboard says that the count is 1-1. It is 2-1. Size now kicks and deals, and Holtorf fouls that one out of play. He falls behind now, 2-2 in the count. The infield playing a little bit deeper here for Liberal. They have shifted their outfield closer into left field, which is where Holtorf hit that home run. And now he works his way up to a full count on the next pitch. The catcher wants it in a similar spot. The payoff pitch is fouled back into the net again. That was pitch number 6 there to Cooper Holtorf. Aside from that home run, Holtorf has been struck out twice. Trying to help the Larks get back on the scoreboard. Their 2 runs were scored back-to-back in the 3rd and 4th inning, coming from Holtorf himself and then Tanner Norman. And this is a ground ball to Ueda. Goes to his knees to field it, and he throws it to first in time. There's now 2 away here in the top of the 7th inning. And Hutch Russell makes his 4th plate appearance.
Number 15, Hutch Russell. Second baseman at the bat.
The first pitch to Hutch Russell is a curveball, missing up high. It is 1-0. Looking at Sean Size so far this season for Liberal, he's pitched in 7 games, has 12 strikeouts, and has given up 11 runs, but all those have came in 3 of his 7 games as he delivers a foul ball on a 1-0 count there to Russell. And here with Liberal, he's also getting his first bit of collegiate pitching experience because he was a redshirt at El Paso Community College. Russell rests the bat on his left shoulder. Now he awaits the 1-1. And here it comes. It's a swing and a miss for strike 2. Size has 12 strikeouts coming into tonight's game. He's looking to add number 13 right here and get another 3-up, 3-down inning for the BJs. He delivers high and inside. The count is even once again. Russell hits a line drive into left field on the 2-2 count, and this one rolls all the way back to the wall. Russell takes off for second base, and he's got a double. First hit of the game for Hutch Russell. Going to the 4-hole batter now, Sean Keenan, as the Larks try to get back on the scoreboard and fight their way back into this game. Keenan's had the ball go and play 3 times tonight, looking for that first hit. And now there's a meeting here between the catcher, Cole Manuel, and the pitcher, Sean Size. In Size's 2 appearances against the Larks, he's only given up 2 hits and 3 runs, all of which came in a third of an inning 2 nights ago. When he made his first appearance on July 8th, he only faced 4 batters in 1 1/3 innings, meaning all those guys got out. Now Sean Keenan is ready for his first pitch against the new arm in the game. Size looks back at second base, now focuses on the batter, and Keenan hits this one up into center field, and the catch is made by Ueda. He makes another long run to make the catch, and that retires the side with 1 runner left stranded for the Larks. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, we'll be back in just a moment here on the Larks Network. The Larks make their second call to the bullpen tonight going into the bottom of the 7th inning. The new pitcher is number 23, Jackson Ramos, replacing Hunter Cogill after 2 2/3 innings. And the first pitch to the 8-hole batter, Cade Adams, is ball 1. Jet Huffman is on deck. Ben Finnegan is in the hole for the BJs. Now Ramos goes out high and outside on that one. And it's now 2-0. Ramos has pitched the most games for the Larks. This is number 13 tonight. He's primarily used in the 9th inning, but is coming in to try and slow down the BJs. The Larks are trying to fight their way back into this game, which is, I've said it already, and I'll keep saying it because of how important it is. This is a must-win game for both teams. The Larks can share the title with a win tonight. Liberal ties in first place if they win. And they walk Cade Adams there on 4 straight balls. Number 3, Jet Huffman, is now up.
Next up for the BJs, second baseman, number 3, Jet Huffman.
Huffman reached on air in the first inning, but has since then put the ball in place twice and gotten out twice. Ramos comes set. Bunt is showed, and it is pulled back in time. 1 ball and no strike in the count to the second baseman. And a throw goes back to first base, not in time there for the Larks. Jet Huffman, we've mentioned, is one of 3 players for Liberal that plays right here at Seward County Community College. One of 54 games, or played in 54 games this season for the Saints. Count remains 2-0. And Brent Goldfield has served as the home of the BJs for quite a while now. It's a pretty nice facility. It's a grandstand that stretches all the way from the from dugout to dugout. Speaking for me as a broadcaster, I get my own booth here. And I'd say that personally one of the most interesting touches that they have is, while this is mainly a JUCO baseball field, they built a statue right next to the press box, which I'll talk about here in a second. 3-0. And they're going to call that ball 4. So runners are now at first and second for the BJs as they go back to the top of their order. And Keith Harper coming out again to try to get an explanation from the umpire. Ramos centered that ball, but they said he was unable to get it in the zone as Ben Finnegan comes up to bat now, fresh off of a single in his last appearance. Ramos goes up high for ball 1 there to Finnegan. And the statue that I'm talking about here at Brent Gold Field is to the left of the press box, and it is of Kaiser Carlisle, who is a former bat boy for the BJs back in 2015. And at the NBC World Series, he tragically lost his life, and the statue was built for him right next here to the press box, and it has a plaque on it, which is a quote that he would tell the team, which is "play hard and have fun." I just wanted to share that real fast. I think that's a very interesting thing that Liberal added to their ballpark. But now the count is 2-0, and now 2-1 as Ramos gets into the strike zone on the 3rd pitch there against Ben Finnegan. Ramos has 2 runners on with no outs. Here's the pitch. That one goes high and outside for ball 3. Both runners so far for the BJs have gotten on through walks in this inning. Entering this game, Ramos, his strikeouts or his walk to strikeout ratio is 3-8, but now he has 3 straight walks here to start the inning. So Adams is at third, Huffman at second, and Finnegan over at first. And now Harper's going to come out once again to talk things over with his pitcher. The next batter up to the plate is number 5, William Bologna. And we've seen some liberal batters that can make good contact and drive home some runs. And while the chances of it happening are very low, if Liberal is able to hit a grand slam right here from Bologna, it would end the game. So that's why Keith Harper's coming out and talking to Ramos now.
Third baseman, number 5, William Bologna.
So William Bologna, 2 for 4 tonight, is up to bat. Both of his hits have been singles in the first and second inning. Ramos comes set to deal the pitch. He puts this one on the inside. Bologna has to duck out of the way a little bit. And it's now 1-0. Liberal's been in this situation already tonight with the bases loaded. They've driven home runs each time. And it's now 2-0 from Ramos to the 2-hole batter. The time that Liberal had the bases loaded was the first inning. Josiah Rojas, the 6-hole batter, was the one that brought them all home with a double. Count now moves to 2-1. Dylan Hazelhorst, the new catcher, puts his glove in the center of the plate. Half-hearted swing. Bologna did not go around, but that is called strike 2 by the home plate umpire as Ramos looks for out number 1. This is the first batter that he has 2 strikes against. And time will be called before the 5th pitch is dealt. And now Bologna goes back into the box, trying to get his first RBIs of the night. He just had those 2 runs and off of those 2 hits. And now Ramos deals the 2-2, and it is left upstairs. It is a full count for the Northern Kentucky commit against the Nebraska commit. Ramos has been using his fastball here early on in this appearance. He sends the payoff pitch to the plate. He went to the fastball. This one's hit over to Hutch Russell, and he's unable to get a hold of the ball. 1 run is going to get in, and another one as well. And Liberal goes up 10-2 with runners at the corners. That'll be listed as an error. And now Cole Manuel is up to bat. Manuel's shown a lot of plate discipline in this game. 4 appearances, and he's gotten on all 4 times. He almost got hit on that one. It was high. And the count is 1-0. Throw goes back to first base. Bologna doesn't even need to slide back. He is safe. Right now, he is technically the game-winning run for Liberal. If they're able to score both him and Finnegan over at third here in this inning, that would be Liberal's 8th run rule of the season. Now it's a swing and a miss. The count moves to 1-1. Manuel's on-base percentage coming into tonight's game was .525. It's going to go up with his single and his 2 walks. He's also reached on an error tonight. Ramos delivers, and it's another swing and a miss on the curveball. Manuel falls behind with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ramos throws back to first once again. Bologna is safe. Ramos getting his pitch from Hazelhorse once again. He's ready to deal the 1-2 to Manuel. It's on its way. And that one's up high, and it's a even count at 2-2. And on the 2-2, Manuel fouls it out of play and will now await pitch number 6. Ramos looking for his first out, maybe even his first strikeout of the game. The pitch is on its way. It's a fly ball into right field. Holtorf runs after it and slides down and makes the catch. And the runner from third tags up. And Liberal extends their lead to 9 after Holtorf gets out number 1. The only runner on now is William Bologna over at first base. That was the first time that Cole Manuel has gotten out tonight. In his previous appearance, he was walked on a full count, and then his courtesy runner was out at second base on a fielder's choice. Now Cal Anthony steps up with 1 out. He leaves the first pitch up high, and it's 1-0. So if Liberal gets that one run over from first base, it'll be a run rule victory from them, and it will give them a tie for first in the RMBL standings with the Larks. But after tonight, hope is not lost for the Larks. If they want to still win that title outright, they have to win their 2 league games against the Boulder Collegians, and then Liberal has 2 more RMBL games left as well. Theirs are both against Dodge City, which if you follow RMBL baseball, you know that that's not an easy outing. So the Larks need some help if they want to win that title outright. With 2 wins as well as a Liberal loss, they can get that win. It's now 1-2 to Anthony. Here comes the pitch. And this is on the outside. And the count is even once again. Ramos gets his pitch from Hazelhorse right away. He kicks and deals. Goes to his fastball. And that is called ball 3 for another full count. We mentioned Ramos has a 3 3-8 walk to strikeout ratio coming into tonight's game. He's in search of his first strikeout of the game as he delivers the payoff pitch, and he gets it there. A swing and a miss on the full count leads to out number 2. The Larks can keep the game going with one more out. They'll face number 20, Caden Isola. Isola's been a strikeout victim twice tonight, along with 2 trips on the base path with a walk and a base hit. He had 1 strikeout against Hank Brown and another against Hunter Cogill, and he was the first batter that Hunter Cogill actually faced. Fouls the first pitch into the net. The count is 0-1. Isola is the 7th batter at the plate this inning for the BJs. Here's Ramos' next pitch. It misses up high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Caden Isola. With his single tonight, he's now hitting 7 of his last 8 games. Looking to maybe add another one, but he'll now face a tied count at 2-1. Bologna thought about taking off for second base, but he held back. He has not attempted a steal tonight. But taking a look at his season totals, Bologna has only gotten 3 steals on the season. Liberal as a team is successful around 88% of the time on their steal attempts. The count now 2-2 on a swing and a miss there. Now we'll see where Ramos decides to put the ball. 1 runner on, the count 2-2 with 2 outs. And here's the pitch. That is called ball 3. The runner takes off for second, and he is safe. The count is full. It is the 2nd time in a row that Isola faces a full count. He had a single in the last inning, and then he was the last batter out on that fielder's choice play. This will be the 2nd payoff pitch from Jackson Ramos in this inning, and here it is. That is called ball 4 on the outside. And Liberal once again has 2 runners on with 2 outs. They have Josiah Rojas up to bat with a 6 RBI performance from him tonight. And now Keith Harper's going to check in. He looks out over at right field, and I think the Larks are going to sub in a new pitcher. So runners are at first and second for Liberal with 2 outs. The Larks are trying to avoid getting run ruled. And we'll be back in just a moment here on the Larks Network. newest pitcher tonight for the Larks is also their newest roster addition. It is number 30, Aiden Robinson, the Redlands Community College freshman. Made his debut 4 nights ago against the Fort Collins Foxes as a starter. And he pitched a no-hitter through those first 3 innings with no hits and 6 strikeouts. The Larks will rely on him to get this final out of this 7th inning. He deals an 0-1 count to number 23, Josiah Rojas, who has a 6 RBI performance tonight. 3 for 4 with 2 singles and a double for him. Robinson's next pitch is a fastball on the outside, and it's now 1-1. At second is Bologna. Isola is at first. And now the count is tied up at 2-1. It was a week ago today that Frank Leo announced Aiden Robinson's addition to the roster. He pitched in 8 games this season for Redlands, but was primarily played as a shortstop. The foul ball makes the count 2-2, and the catch is made by Aiden Robinson. That ball had quite the ricochet. Unfortunately, he still needs 1 more strike. This is not banana ball. Robinson comes set. And here's the pitch. And this one's a pop-up into left field. Stokes runs after it. The Larks trying to track it down, and running all the way from center field is Sean Keenan to make the catch and extend the game into the top of the 8th inning. Liberal adds 3 more runs in the bottom of the 7th. They lead 11-2. We'll be back in just a moment. Back on the mound for the top of the 8th inning is number 28, Sean Sides for the BJs. They scored 3 runs off of a few walks and 1 error from the Larks and left 2 runners stranded in the bottom of the 7th to go up 11-2. And now Dylan Hazelhorse makes his first appearance at the plate, subbing in for Bran Wilson. He is ahead 1-0 in the count. And now swinging and missing, it's evened up. For Bran Wilson, this was his second straight start as a catcher, something that hasn't happened yet this season, but it's something that the Larks are probably going to have to get used to because they now only have 2 catchers on the roster, Hazelhorst and Wilson, because LaRue got picked up by an independent league team after the MLB draft. Hazelhorse is down 1-2. Here's Size's next pitch, and that drops in there for strike 3. That'll bring up number 6, Tabor Stokes. Stokes is 1 for 3. His base hit came in the second inning.
Number 6, shortstop, Tabor Stokes.
Now Size is set. Here's the pitch. And that one goes to the outside, and it's 1-0. The catcher wants the ball low once again. That time Stokes swings and misses. For Sean Size, this is his second inning of work. He faced 4 batters in the first inning, just giving up that 1 double and getting some help from his fielders. In fact, every out in that 7th inning was recorded by the shortstop, Trenton Uyeda. Foul ball now moves the count to 1-2. That strikeout just a moment ago for Sean Size was his 13th of the season in 8 games now. Now Stokes holds his bat up. Size kicks and deals, and that's popped out of play. The catcher has not moved his glove around at all in this current at bat. This one is fouled, hitting the shade over the grandstand, and it bounced down right in front of me. It actually made me jump a little bit. We've had some of the balls here at Brent Gold Field make some pretty insane ricochets. That was another edition of that. But there's the third foul ball right there for Tabor Stokes. The count remains 1-2. And this next pitch will be number 7 for him. Size looking for his second strikeout. Here's the pitch. And this one's a ground ball over to the second baseman. He juggles it for a second, but Huffman picks it up, and it's to first in time for out number 2. Now Trent Baker will try to keep the inning alive with 2 outs.
Left fielder, number 2, Trent Baker.
For Baker, this could be his last chance to try to keep his hit streak alive. His is 3 games long. He's actually recorded 6 hits and 7 runs in his last 3 games. Now he awaits the pitch from Sean Size, and here it is. That one drops in for strike 1. Again, looking ahead after tonight, the Larks still have 2 RMBL games left. They will play a 3-game series on the 17th, 18th, and 19th against the Boulder Collegians. The Larks faced them twice in Boulder at the start of June, as Baker is now facing an 0-2 count. The first game is non-league. The last 2 are RMBL games, and the Larks had a lot of success in Boulder, getting an extra inning victory in game 1, and then in a 5-inning run rule, they won 27-3 in the second game. Baker's dealt his first ball right here. The count moves to 1-2. Two away here in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch. And that one's fouled off over to the Larks dugout. Baker takes a deep breath before going back up to the plate. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Size. Another pop-up. This one going into foul territory, and it lands out of play once again. Landing near the concession stand, off to the right side of the grandstand. This next pitch will be number 6 to Baker, playing in left field tonight after being a relief pitcher yesterday. And Size gets that one in the low part of the strike zone. And that's out number 3. It's another 3-up, 3-down inning for the BJs against the Larks. And now we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Liberal leads 11-2. Eleven to 2 is the score starting the bottom of the 8th inning. Trenton Uyeda, the 7th batter in Liberals order, leads things off. And the Larks are changing pitchers once again. Aiden Robinson just faces one batter tonight. The new pitcher is the 3rd baseman, Rainer Bean, and taking his place is the DH, Austin Crawford. And the count is now 2-0. Rainer Bean pitched at the end of last night's game. And is appearing once again as he falls behind 3-0 against Trenton Uyeda. This is his 3rd time facing Liberal, and it's his 4th time overall on the mound. Swing and a miss makes the count 3-1. The only non-Liberal appearance for Rainer Bean was on June 18th against Game Day. And he fights back to a full count. Swinging and missing. It's now full for Trenton Uyeda, who is 0 for 2 tonight. He has a walk as his only appearance on the base path, and he was out in his last appearance on a fielder's choice play. But he walks on the full count right here. And again, that is Liberals' game-winning run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They just need one more run to get a run rule victory.
Number 38, the designated hitter, Cade Adams.
It is Cade Adams up to bat now. He scored 1 of the 3 runs in the last inning for the BJs. He was walked, and they'll say that he went around on that first pitch. The count is 0-1. Rainer Bean delivers, and this one's a line drive into left field. Trent Baker will try to track it down. This one will take one bounce and go into his glove. And now Uyeda's in scoring position with Adams' second single of the game. That'll bring up the 9-hole batter, number 3, Jet Huffman.
Number 3, Jet Huffman.
This is his 5th plate appearance, and he's coming off of a walk as well in the prior inning. His was on 4 straight balls. And now he watches the first pitch go by from Rainer Bean, and it's now 0-1. Again, this is Rainer Bean's 4th game for the Larks, 3rd game against the BJs, and 2nd of the series, which is also the 2nd night in a row for him. Moving from third base over to the mound. He deals the ball on the 2nd pitch. And Rainer Bean, this last season at Murray State, played in 53 games and made 53 starts. He only made 1 appearance as a pitcher, which was a save in the last inning. 1-2 is now the count, as Bean looks for out number 1 before going back to the top of Liberal's order. A group that has scored the majority of their runs. And this one's chopped foul as Huffman stays alive. Looking at their leadoff batters, 2 runs have been scored by Finnegan. Bologna has scored 2 as well. And then the courtesy runner for Cole Manuel has scored 3 times, so 7 runs have been scored between those 3. And Jet Huffman also has a run of his own in his last appearance, along with the runner at first base, Cade Adams. But he strikes out swinging on the 1-2 count. There's now 1 away. So Ben Finnegan's back up to bat now.
12, center fielder, Ben.
1 for 3 performance for him tonight with a single and a steal in that same appearance. His 2 runs came from walks on a 3-2 count and the other one on a 3-1 count. Bean's first pitch to Finnegan misses low and inside. And it's 1-0. Bean delivers after looking back at second base. Hazelhorst has to come out of his stance for the next pitch. It's now 2-0. For Finnegan tonight, this is his 6th game where he scored multiple runs. He came in also tonight with 3 or more runs in his last 4 games where he records those multiple runs. He's dealt a strike on the 3rd pitch. As Rainer Bean looks to fight back, it's 2-1. Larks infield playing further back towards the grass. Here's the pitch. And this one is driven deep into right field. Holtorf running after it. And the catch is made. The runner at second tags up. And Trenton Uyeda makes it to third safely. He is 90 feet away from ending the game. The next batter is number 5, William Bologna.
Third baseman, William Bologna.
He drove in 2 runs in his last appearance in the 7th inning. It's Trenton Uyeda at third base. Cade Adams over at first. Adams takes off for second base. And the first pitch is called strike 1. Bean looks over at third base before delivering the next pitch. Here it is. A chopper over to Hutch Russell. He fields it cleanly. And he gets out number 3 over at first base. And now it's time for the top of the 9th inning. The Larks trail by 9. We'll be back in just a moment to Brent Goldfield. New pitcher checks in for Liberal going into the top of the 9th inning. They are 3 outs away from being tied with the Larks in first place. Tanner Norman, Austin Crawford, and Rainer Bean will be up to bat. The new pitcher into the game is number 24, Stephen Brown, who deals a strike to Tanner Norman. Stephen Brown is a junior right-hander from Southeastern University in Florida. He's originally from Lawton, Oklahoma. And now here's the 0-1 to Norman. That one curves in, but is a little bit outside. It's now 1-1. Brown pitched in the first game against the Larks on July 6th. Recorded 2 strikeouts in his 2 innings. And tonight is his 6th game. He delivers the fastball to the outside. The count is now tied up. So Brown just played his first season at Southeastern. But he sat out. However, he actually started his career here at Seward County. Now here's the 2-1, and it's chopped foul. Norman will have to battle back now with a 2-2 count. Again, Austin Crawford is up next, and then the Larks will go back to the top of their order for the 5th time tonight with Rainer Bean. Brown kicks and deals, and that's left upstairs. Norman has another full count. Norman tonight has walked 3 times in 3 appearances. He's had a lot of games where he's shown that plate discipline, getting the multiple walks. But I don't think we've seen a Larks player get walked 3 times, let alone potentially 4. Norman fouls that one off. Count remains full. Home plate umpire will clean off home plate. This will be pitch number 7 to Tanner Norman as Stephen Brown looks for his 12th strikeout of the season after subbing in for Sean Size. And the pitch is on the low corner, and Tanner Norman is in disbelief that was called strike 3, and personally I don't blame him. The catcher was able to frame that. It went on the low corner, but they said that that's out number 1. There's now 1 away for the BJs as they'll now face number 8, Austin Crawford.
Number 8, designated hitter, Austin Crawford.
Brown is set to deliver Crawford his first pitch. It's on its way. And there's strike 1. Crawford, a Hutchinson Blue Dragon, facing a Jayhawk League rival, or former Jayhawk League rival rather, Stephen Brown. I mentioned started his career at Seward County. Is now pitching at Southeastern University in Florida. This one is picked up by the first baseman, Isola, and he tags first base for out number 2. So now, or correction, that was called a foul ball there, so Crawford will stay alive, 0-2. Brown comes set. And here's the pitch. That one's left upstairs for the first ball to Crawford. Takes a deep breath and does a half-hard practice swing before he goes back into the left-handed box. He's playing a little bit further back from the plate. He's seen some of his teammates have their strike zones a little more inside, but he swings and misses on the 1-2, and now there's out number 2. And now Rainer Bean is up to bat. Bean's gotten on the base path twice. He's 1 for 3.
Number 3, third baseman, Rainer Bean.
We'll see what Rayner does right here. The first pitch curves into the zone. It's now 0-1. Bean's looking for his second hit of the game as he fouls that one off. He's down to his last strike at 0-2. Brown getting his pitch from his catcher, Manuel, as he comes set. He sends it to home plate. This is popped up. Running after it is the left fielder, Rojas. But this lands off in the distance. So Rainer Bean will stay alive. And he fouls this one over to the dugout on the first base side. Back-to-back foul balls there for Bean. After falling behind 0-2, Hutch Russell goes in and throws it to the opposite dugout. Brown delivers the 0-2 once again, puts it on the outside, and there's the first ball. The catcher throws a new ball in to Stephen Brown. Played 2 innings in his first time facing the Larks. This time it's for 1 inning. Brown kicks and deals, and that will curve into the zone, and that is out number 3. And Liberal wins by a final score of 11-2 tonight, and they are officially tied for first in the RMBL standings with the Larks, as both teams currently set at 16-6. Liberal is now 19-9-1 overall, and the Larks are 23-6. And Liberal did what they did last night. They jumped out to that early lead, 5-0 through the first inning, and then the rest was history. But there's still a way that both teams can get an outright win for the championship. But they're going to need some help from the other opponents. The Larks need to win their 2 games in league play against Boulder, and then they need some help from Dodge City. That is who Liberal plays in their next 2 games. Both of those will be in league play. On the 17th, it will be at Dodge, and then the next night it will be back here at Brent Gold Field before Liberal wraps up their regular season on Monday against the Liberal Rattlers, which is an 18U team here in Liberal. And for the Larks, they will have a 3-game series with Boulder on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. The first game is non-league, and I've been told it's going to be 7 innings long, and then they will have the 2 league games to follow after that before their regular season finale on Monday in Dodge City. So that's going to wrap up our coverage of tonight's game as the Larks fall 11-2. I'm Hank Corsair saying good night from Liberal, Kansas.